Here at the Is There a Godzilla podcast, we have extensive, long amounts of time logged in the service industry. And
many years.
Many years. And we know that the best stories out there are the stories coming out of the service industry because we deal with people at their absolute worst. You will never know the worst about humanity unless you work in the service industry. That being said, we have our stories, and we know that you all have your stories, and we want you guys to share your stories with us. And if you're interested in being on the cast and getting down with us,
please send in your stories, whatever you have. We want your best. I got fired. They got fired. I quit. They quit. Got suspended. Fucking with a new guy.
The nitty gritty. Yeah. Drunkest customer. The shittiest, most arrogant customer. The worst interaction you've ever had. Period. So yeah, if you're interested, just email us at isthereagodzilla@icloud.com and give us a quick little rundown of your story and give us some information on how to get in touch with you, and we can give you a call and you can join us on the podcast and tell your story and have it go down and be on the internet forever, like, hey.
Yeah.
These stories need to be saved and cataloged because some of them are just too good. It's that, there's some legendary shit that's gone down. These stories keep us entertained while we are doing these shitty jobs that we have to do, and
there's some incredible, unbelievable behind the scenes stuff that you would never imagine. Everybody is so disconnected with where their food comes from, and if you heard these stories and knew the crazy rock star throw your television out of the hotel window type stories, you'd fucking, I don't know, maybe you would like it, maybe you would stop going to so many restaurants, but
or maybe you would be less shitty when you go to said restaurants, because
exactly,
half of getting good service anywhere that you go is being a good fucking customer. So everyone in the service industry knows this. So yeah, once again, if you got something to share, please get at us.
And for all you shitty customers, if you don't belong, don't be long.
Oh, and if you can't afford to tip, go to fucking McDonald's. Don't go somewhere. If you're expected to fucking tip. Don't be a dick. Don't
send them to a fucking McDonald's. Don't make them have to deal with those assholes. If you're a fucking shitty customer, just cut your head off.
Go to the grocery store, buy some bologna, asshole.
Yeah, fuck you. Yeah, starve yourself.
Yeah. Anyways, like I said, these stories are not just our stories; they're your stories. And tonight,
I got a call from my buddy Owen, and he wanted to share his story of how he got temporarily, well, I guess suspended is temporarily, yeah. How he got suspended from work for threatening his chef. And it's a little slice of gold.
Yeah, so without further ado, here's Owen and Justin bringing you some good times.
My name's Owen. I'm the PM sous chef at a restaurant I will not name, and this is my story of how I was suspended for threatening to kick my manager's ass. Okay, so suspended story. I don't know if you remember, but about 4.5 years ago, the new ownership from Singapore of the hotel that I worked for closed down for 4 months. They did a remodel. And they hired a restaurant consulting firm to come in and play Hell's Kitchen kind of game with us. They were going to tell us how to do it right.
Yeah.
We obviously didn't fucking know. And that company turned out to be a fucking joke, of course. But they hired this opening crew of managers to manage us, and we had this dude that was our basic everyday run-of-the-mill floor manager guy that we had to work with every day. His name, he was Italian, and his name was Castriati, which is way too close to castrati for my fucking liking, and it was almost hard to not make fun of him for that. But he was exactly what you think, the stereotypical fucking crazy, like, ego fucking maniac, like, silly Italian guy, right?
Yeah.
And he had he's like, I don't know, I mean, maybe he's good looking, I don't know, I hate it, it's hard for me to judge, but he like, was really well dressed, and he had these, like, shoes. He had this thing with shoes, like, he had these, like, literally, like, purple velvet loafers.
Right.
Like, with, like, silver fucking buckles. And I'd be like, fucking dude, what is with those fucking shoes? And his answer would be something like, they cost $1,100. like that was this guy, right?
That's
so he was
an
like,
end of discussion. Like,
end of discussion. Like, you couldn't afford these, so therefore, like, that's it.
yeah.
Right? That was Castriati. So that was kind of his game there.
Yeah.
And he was in charge, right? He was the boss when the big boss went home, and we had to work with him all the time. But I only worked with him for like 2 weeks because I was supposed to be in charge of the kitchen because obviously none of the manager chefs actually wanted to stay there and fucking be there for all that. So like, I was in charge, right? And we closed at 10 o'clock. And this one night, this dude sat down this like fucking 20 top or something fucking ridiculous at like 10:15, and like the line cook comes to me and he's like, "Look, dude, what's going on? We're supposed to be punched out. We've already been told we don't get any overtime. Like, I'm not doing this if I don't get paid, basically, right? We're going home, right?" So I went to Cody and I told him, like, "No, I'm not doing it. We're authorized for overtime. We're closed. We're going home." And he started arguing with me and this and that and the other thing, and basically told me we were doing it. And I told him, we were having this fight. Like, I'm not asking anybody to do this if they're not getting paid, period. And we go back and forth a little bit, and it starts to get a little heated. And, my ego was in play a little bit because this was like a difficult time for us, and I was supposed to be like in charge. I didn't want to like back down to this guy in front of my crew or anything like that. You can imagine how. But but then like the guy that at company, Brad was like started saying like, "You can't talk to him like that. You can't talk to him like that," kind of thing. And I felt myself getting fired up. And I'm like, yeah. And I started being like, "No, we're not doing that." And then it becomes a refusal, not a conversation. And this guy's ordering me to do it, and we get to this point where I'm yelling about his fucking velvet loafers, and he's telling me that he knows people in North Beach who are gonna have me killed, and like, and finally I get to this point, and I'm like, "Look, dude, you want to fucking step outside?" And at that moment, like, the entire building was silent. I swear, it's just like hush, cricket, and everyone, and he sounds like grabbing people. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Did you hear that? I'm like, "Oh fuck, like whatever, and like, so anyway, the point being, like, the cooks went home. We didn't do the party. It was a big fucking deal. They got denied food. It was, I knew I was gonna be in trouble. Went in the next day. It's supposed to be the new chef's day off. He was sitting there. I was like, "Oh, what are you doing here?" And he's like, "Well, I had to come in because you're fucking suspended, right? You're not allowed to tell these people, your manager, that you're going to take them outside." I'm like, "Okay, well, I know better than to talk to you right now." So anyway, the HR lady called me and said, "We need to meet with you." And I said, "Okay, when should I come in?" And they said, "We're not going to allow you on the property. I'll meet you at Starbucks."
Oh my God.
I was like, okay, like, this is not going well.
Yeah.
I went to see the new Godzilla movie that just came out at that time with Alfred.
Yeah.
That kind of shit, and I was pretty sure I was going to be fired, but I came back and they asked me to give my statement, and I thought really hard about it first, and like, what did people hear, what did everything, and I got to that part where everything went silent of, you want to go fucking take this outside? And I was like, and I was like, okay, well, so my story that I sat there and said, under oath or whatever, was that, it wasn't good because, like, the crew was witnessing this argument, and I was only asking you to step outside, so, like, we wouldn't, like, we weren't being professional, and I just wanted to talk to him.
Yeah.
And all this other shit, So, I don't know if they bought that or not, so they asked me to come back, and I had to work with that guy for one more shift, and he wouldn't talk to me.
Oh.
But then one of the waitresses, like, filed some sexual harassment thing against him, and he was fired immediately. They paid me for my 3 days that I wasn't allowed on the property. The human resource lady quit, and I came back to work and had to sign a paper promising I would never tell anyone I was going to take them outside and kick their ass.
That's awesome. That's so good. You, you had to sign a paper.
Yes. No threats of violence. Ever again.
Oh, ever again. Oh, okay.
Ever again. Ever again. No, I wasn't committing fault. I never did it once, but...
Yeah, you pass it off as... I was just trying to ask him if he would like to go outside and discuss this further, not fight. And then for them to make you sign a paper that says, if that ever happens again, you won't participate in it. That's
right,
crazy.
yeah. My excuse was I was being professional, you know?
Yeah.
And luckily the guy was a total idiot. He said all this bullshit about like things that didn't actually apply to anything. But basically he didn't know what he was doing. And like he seriously like he also stood in front of everybody there and told me that like he knew people in North Beach that were gonna have me killed, like he's some kind of like crazy Italian mafioso guy or something. I'm like, you know, this is fucking crazy. Like manager, you're not allowed to threaten to have me murdered.
Yeah.
Like so. Like fuck you. So anyway, I don't know whatever happened to Castrati, but I have my job and he doesn't, and that's the end of the story.
Where do you think? Where do you think he ended up?
I don't know. Probably at some pizzeria that like sells like fucking crack out of the back of it or something like that. But
in the marina.
Probably in the marina. Yeah, not crack. Like he's probably in a pizzeria that like does most of his business selling coke out of the back.
Yeah.
To take some kind of tax loss because like they don't make any money. That's probably what's going on there.
Yeah.
He spends all his money on shoes.
Oh,
Very expensive, only made in Italy loafers. That's my guess.
Purple suede.
No, not even suede, velvet.
Oh.
Like velvet. Like yeah, fucking nuts. We have a closed kitchen, so it's like nobody else heard, but like the staff definitely heard it.
Yeah.
It was not good. It was about as far from professional as you could get. So.
Yeah. Oh man. I love those. It's so good.
Yeah. That's something there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wish I had a good fire story for you, but I just don't.
No, your suspended mid story is great. It's awesome. Nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I gotta let you go because I'm like I gotta look at this like map fucking thing and like I'm not finding my way.
I'll talk.
All right.
I'll
Good
talk to
talking
you soon.
All right, welcome to the Is There a Godzilla podcast, the podcast where three old friends answer pressing questions facing the modern American. My name is Damon, aka the OG Dangbanger. I am your host. I'm coming to you live from the heart of the great state of Texas, and as always, I'm joined with your host,
Justin Christ, you forget, coming to you live from Washington.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Rick, a.k.a. MCG The Source, coming from Santa Cruz, California.
So, that being said, the first question of the night, guys.
Yes.
I'll lay out the scenario.
Yeah, okay.
Post-apocalyptic fucking world.
Oh,
Everything
yeah.
has come to an end. You found a disc man. This is all that's left. You only have access to 2 discographies.
Oh, God.
The discographies are U2 or the Police.
Oh. Yes.
Oh, shit.
So for the rest of our probably short lives on this planet, we can listen to either or, but not both. And gouging our ears out isn't an option because we need them to survive.
Good love.
You know what? Oh man, that's a hard one, man.
Who's gonna answer first?
Rick, why don't you answer first? I got to think about this one.
Oh man, I had to think too, dude. Okay, weighing the options, positives and negatives and all that. Oh God, I guess I'm gonna say the Police, man. Okay. Absolutely, the Police.
Yeah, I think I would have to do that too.
Man,
I mean, Sting's better.
I really want to play devil's advocate,
yeah.
But I think I have to agree with everybody on this one. I think we have our first unanimous answer.
We all agree.
And
it's a hard one.
I think for me, I had to weigh. Okay, you got Sting and you got Bono, and they're both about as terrible can fucking be, right? Like, I mean, it's really hard. I think you probably have to say that Sting is a little bit worse because, I'm pretty sure, if you listen to his lyrics, he was fucking his teenage students while he was a professor, and I think that's kind of douchey, and the fact that the fact that when you say tantric sex, fucking that dude's ugly fucking mug pops up in your head probably because that's the only thing you know about it. So. Okay, so there's that, and I'm like, God, okay, well, so Sting slightly outweighs Bono on the shitty scale, but then you got to factor in the Edge, and the Edge is I really can't think of a guitarist that I disrespect more than the Edge. That guy is such a piece of shit.
The way I look at it is like, okay, so Bono does all this like stuff to try to save the world and humanity, and that's great, but you're talking about a post-apocalyptic world, and so obviously all of his efforts obviously all of his efforts didn't do shit if it's a post-apocalyptic world.
That's a good fucking point, Justin.
And I'm trying not to think about the people the people behind the music because I'm just trying to think about the music of what do I have to, if I have to listen to that for the rest of my life on Earth, then I guess not you two. But
for me, I think Stuart Copeland, he's an alright drummer, alright, I'll give that dude some credit. He's probably above average drummer, rock drummer. Can anyone name the drummer of U2? Okay.
Nope.
Boom. All right.
So I didn't even know Stuart Copeland.
Yeah, so we got that going. And then you got so Andy Summers is the guitarist, and Andy Summers is like a jazz guitarist, and he actually understands music. So, I'll give him credit, where the Edge literally plays like fucking one note to the next note, back to that same note to the next note, which is actually just the first note in a different key, and he has I don't know if you guys seen that documentary. It might get loud in here, but it's
yeah.
I didn't know, but
his whole guitar style is based on effects. He literally doesn't do anything though. He has at least 200 effects running in a channel through a MIDI foot pedal that's like 6 feet by fucking 2 feet. It's huge with just buttons. So he literally every song is just him punching different sequences of buttons and then playing 2 or 3 notes, and not even chords, but notes.
He's he only glorified rhythm guitarist sort of.
Yeah.
You could literally program you could sequence out something on GarageBand that's more creative than anything that the Edge has ever done on guitar in probably 15 minutes. Like you could, like having never used GarageBand, you could open up GarageBand, and I guarantee you, within 15 minutes of fucking with it and loading up like little fucking phrases, and you put an arpeggiator on there, and bam, you've got something that's like 100 times more interesting than anything the Edge ever did.
All with the mouse. All with the mouse.
Yeah.
You piano roll notes per bar. And there you go. You get your,
at the end of the day, though, when you're thinking about like in the post, I'm still all about the post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, I keep forgetting about that. You're right.
Yeah, like you're not. Yeah, that's not going to be your concern when you're like when you come across a Discman and you're like, I can make this, so I'm gonna make this. I can make this riff in GarageBand, so I'm gonna go with this other band.
Yeah. But also, as a guitarist, as someone who plays guitar, you gotta like sit there and listen to it and just be upset because all you could be thinking about is if this wasn't a post-apocalyptic world and I had a guitar, I could do 100 times better than this.
Yeah.
Like God damn it! I have to listen to this fucking terrible fucking hack of a musician, like. I was listening to these guys talk about like this interview with Brian Eno. They asked him to produce the Joshua Tree. He told them no, and then he said, "Well, I'll do it, but only if I can bring my engineer." And then he said in his notes, he said that the engineer basically did everything, like recorded everything. He set all the sequencing up. He did all he basically did everything himself. And
so basically the Edge is basically using auto-tune for guitars.
Yeah, but Brian Eno said that literally the engineer would be with them all week, and Brian Eno's job was to come in once a week for an hour a week and delete anything that sounded too much like U2.
Oh wow! What the fuck?
And that was his whole job in making the Joshua Tree, is to make sure that it didn't sound like the piece of shit band that he was actually recording. And
here we are, guys like us, able to make amazing shit, and we're just underground as hell.
Yeah. Well, we don't have cool glasses.
Yeah, we also haven't all given ourselves one-word nicknames that apparently like stuck. They're also the only people that I can think of in the rock and roll world that got to pick their nicknames. Like, who the fuck gets to pick their own nickname? That's some whack shit. Like
that. Yeah, that is so lame. God, that is lame.
What about you, Rick? What you were saying that you have a question that is gonna stump us.
Oh yeah, okay. So this is some how we're fucking with the American dream shit. So the question, okay, so basically what this is one question that will sort of lead into a second question that pertains to the answer of the first question.
Okay.
Just to get you ready for it. No, but
okay.
So I guess I'll ask Damon first. When you were 18, at the very end of high school, what the fuck did you think you were gonna be? And are you that person? And if you're not, are you happy with that?
I didn't have any kind of like firm, like I had a very abstract idea about what I was going to be. Like I figured that I would be doing something involved like for food. I always pretty much since I was very very young, I assumed that would be a track for me. And I didn't have any like, oh, by this time I'm gonna be running my own restaurant, or by this time I'm gonna be married, and by this time I'm gonna have kids. You know, like I didn't have.
You didn't have a timeline.
I didn't have any timeline or anything firmly set in place. I just had a general like, I'm gonna be happy. You know, like I'm gonna be comfortable. And I'm gonna, hopefully be surrounded by people that I care about, and doing something that I enjoy. That was like the only real like goal that I had, like leaving high school. I was hoping I would be skating a lot still, which I don't do as much as I had wished. Like I guess if I was going down the list, I'm probably batting like maybe. I'm batting like 75 or 75%, like, I'm not in the kind of shape that I probably hoped I would be in. I'm not skating as much as I would have. I'm still pretty much living paycheck to paycheck. So I think overall, but I mean, I'm not stressed. I'm not super stressed. I'm around people. I'm in a relationship with someone that I care about, that cares about me. Like the people that I have around me. I have the suspicion they truly care about me.
Yeah, totally.
I don't have a lot of stragglers hanging around, so I feel like in that respect I'm doing pretty good. I'm not working a job where I just dread going to work every day or anything like that. So
that's dope. I mean, that's important.
Yeah.
I just
you're still selling coke on the streets, man?
Yeah. No, I'm selling blowjobs to pay for the coke.
Oh, sweet.
Oh my god.
Oh, well, man,
that's interesting, man. I mean,
it is the American dream, At some point, to achieve the American dream, you are going to suck some dick.
At some point.
Yeah.
Either metaphorically or literally.
Yeah, that's true, and it's kind of sad, but it's like, as long as you're, like you said, you're not stressed, you're with people you give a shit about, and I guess that's cool. I was curious. I don't think I've ever asked you that, Damon. That's that
was a very prolific question, Rick.
Well, now
and we even got a dick suck out of it.
Yeah, dude. At least we got one of those.
Some oral sex references. They had to be around the corner somewhere. They're lurking.
Had to throw them in, dude. It's the only way.
So Justin, what's your answer?
Yes.
Yeah, Justin. Yeah. So when you were getting out of high school, man, like at the end of Harbor High, walk
class
the H
of
building with your lunchbox.
With your He-Man onesie.
In high school. Can you believe that?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah. So
I'm on the street sucking so many dicks.
Yeah.
So many.
No. So like it was weird because so I I had a lot of anxiety growing up, and I never thought I would reach 18. And then when I did, I was like, holy shit! Like I have to be an adult now. That that sucks.
Damn that!
Hey, Justin, I don't mean to cut you off, but I mean I've been your friend since we were like 12 or 13, and I had no idea you had anxiety. That's like you fucking hid that shit well. All right, go ahead.
That's what teenagers do. Like that's what.
Some can't.
No, that's what people do.
Yeah.
That's what people would.
But some people can't do it well. So
no,
because I had no idea.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I wasn't as bad as other people, but anyway, so it's just I don't know. I was all scared with the idea of having to be an adult, and I don't know. I piled a bunch of alcohol on top of that, and then I thought that I have this joke with my old coworkers. Like, I was like, yeah, any day now. As soon as my rap career takes off, I'm out of here.
Yeah, no, dude, God, you were dope though. You could have done it though. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
I was still gonna do it.
You still are? Fuck
yeah,
Justin.
I mean, well, MF Doom was like how old when he got I don't know.
Don't start talking about Zev.
He
Don't
was
start
like
about
17.
Zev
Yeah, but
I'm just kidding.
Well, okay. Well,
the incarnation that we currently know was, I think he was in his late 20s. So
he's born the same day as my dad. So that was weird.
So I mean, like Damon, I never really had any specific timeline because I didn't think I was gonna make it to I was like, oh man, I'll never make it to age 18, and then I'll never make it to 21 and 25, and I joke now because I'm like, all right, I know I'm old because I listen to I am like 35 and I'm on a podcast now, and what else? Oh yeah, we're watching Planet Earth or Lonely Planet or something like that, and yeah, I feel like that's what 35-year-olds do. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if that answers your question, but
I just finally moved. I've been living downtown for like the last 7-8 years, like right on the bar strip, and like I was hanging out at the bars and partying and shit like that, and we just finally moved like away from downtown for the first time since I've been back in Austin. And I feel like such an adult now because I'm not.
Yeah.
It's like I'm so stoked because like I now live across the street from a hippie grocery store and a Walmart instead of 7 bars
in Austin, dude.
there's a bunch of interesting food nearby. There's an Alamo Drafthouse Theater across the street. Like I'm like, oh, like all these fucking amazing things that I don't have to fucking pay for a lift for anymore. And I think that's the most exciting thing.
I think it's funny that like you and I, Damon, are like I don't know about you, Rick, but I know that like you especially, Damon, are it's like 10 o'clock, okay, time to go to bed. Like,
well, dude,
that's something I would never do as when I was young. I would just like, I go to sleep when I pass out.
Same here, dude. And like I had all kinds of responsibilities and shit. Still do like that.
I have just somehow managed to, for the last 12 years or so, well, maybe not 12, about the last 8 to 10 years, I've been able to work in the restaurant industry in the back of the house Monday through Friday, like 8 to 5. It's like I somehow have like managed to have like a normal hours job, like all my other friends are like bartenders or they work at restaurants and they all work crazy weird, they have off like Tuesday and Saturday
I feel
morning.
as soon as I was able to negotiate morning shifts only, that's like I was like, all right, I'm really like I'm looking out for myself.
Yep.
Well, dude, do either of you guys have, a brother or sister? Well, I know Justin's the only child, right?
I'm actually also an only child, so.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
You guys are my brothers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, dude, you're my dog, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't get Rick an answer from Rick.
No, I mean, just I didn't. My quick answer is that I had no fucking clue what I wanted to be, and I was terrified. So then, if it weren't for Chris Poveroma, aka DJ
such and such,
he got me interested in going to Los Angeles recording school, so I did that, and now I'm a certified audio engineer. But there's nowhere to do that because the industry died like the year after. Like the recording industry was no longer a commercial industry. It's like you got like recording studios doing other shit now. Yeah.
All the people that I know that have that degree, they work in television and movies now. They don't work in music.
Now it's called the Los Angeles Film School now.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because
you know what I mean? So it's like it died.
Film sound. That's where all the money's at now. So.
But there's gotta be like different avenues that you can go down, like that. Not necessarily like so it doesn't involve music. Like there's definitely some kind of audio technician.
Yeah, like radio, live sound. Shit like that. But I mean, there's a whole bunch of things. I mean, almost every industry needs some kind of sound, including corporations that like Walmart. They make their own commercials. They make they need sound.
You can also. So I have a friend that works for the Austin's the Moody Theater here in Austin, where they film all the Austin City Limits stuff, and he does all their sound. Like he just worked his way up like his roadie style, and now like he runs the soundboard for all those shows.
Yeah. Well, shit. That's what Twang, aka
Rick's like, good for him.
Good for him. That's what I wanted to do.
Like, great
asshole.
But he had to get in there and grind it out for 15, 20 years.
Dude,
to get
it takes time until like the right person goes, oh, you fucking saved my ass. You want a job? Like it takes a while to find a little opportunity. But Twang, or aka SMF, or Miguel, my cousin who we talked about before, that's what he does, and he just walked right into it. And I'm like, motherfucker, I went to school for that. But I'm happy for him, and so long story short, the whole time I was in school, I was working for the company I work for now, in architectural coatings, if you will. And it's what I know, and I have beautiful kids and a beautiful wife, and that's cool. So I'm not like pissed, but I am a little stressed, and that's the thing is that I envy Damon and Justin for just like accepting where you guys are, man. Because I do accept it, but the stress is like, is it worth it? I don't think so, dude. So let's get famous. Just kidding.
All right, well,
It's true.
So moving on.
Yeah.
So moving on, I have like a way back when kind of question.
Oh.
Cool.
What is your first memory of hip hop music?
Oh, that's a good one. Rick?
My dad. Well, as you guys know, my dad was well, it's my dad. It was like when I was like 5 or 6. I always go to my cousins in Fresno where they lived at the time, and they were really into like brand new gangster rap because it was like it was like 80, 88, 89, you know.
Yeah.
So they were really into NWA and into DJ Quick and shit like that. Like super into that shit.
Yeah.
And that's what it was my dad and his cousins smoking weed, because my dad was so young when he had me. He was still a kid, and I'd be in the room watching them smoke weed and just listening to that gangster shit. That's the very first memory.
So
NWA
is your first band, the first band that you remember?
Pretty much, yeah, dude. Like the first line I remember is I just smoke motherfuckers like it ain't no thing, and I'm not making that shit up. That's the very first line that my dad would, and then he'd always try to bleep it out and go, "I just smoke like it ain't no thing." And I'm like, "Dad, I heard it already." You know, like I'm not even joking. I'm not kidding. It's not like just because I'm from California. It's like that is the very first memory.
Okay, Justin, what was your first memory?
Well, I guess I would have to say it was, I remember my dad just got me this like tape cassette player, and I had all these blank tapes, and it was right when Snoop Dogg came out with Doggy Style.
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah.
And that shit was on the radio like fucking all the time, and I would take my tape cassette player and like try to record. Like I didn't care if I recorded the song twice. I would try to record as much as possible because that was the shit.
It was the shit.
Wow.
But I remember, I think that was like, I'm thinking back, and I think that's my earliest memory of it. Oh. Yeah.
A beautiful memory. Beautiful memory.
Wow.
What about you, Damon?
I feel fucking old.
Yes.
I feel so fucking
old man.
So
MC Boxcar Willie from Delaware.
No.
That's who I was listening to.
But no, there was kind of three things that happened all around the same time for me, and I'm not 100% sure which one came first. So Style Wars aired on PBS. Okay, I remember seeing Style Wars on PBS.
Hell yeah! Which one?
Style Wars, the documentary about New York graffiti.
Oh, okay.
So
like the documentary.
Yeah, so the documentary Style Wars aired on PBS. I saw a movie called Beat Street.
Yes.
And then I also saw a movie called Break-In. And Break-In was like the cheesiest version. Like, I mean,
Beat Street was the shit, and yes, exactly. My dad was the fucking
so Style Wars was the shit, and then Beat Street was basically some people trying to make a movie version of Style Wars. Right.
Yeah.
And then
still equally cool.
Yeah.
But
exactly. I remember it was in the same context.
Break-In was
Hollywood.
The real Hollywood, yeah, because that shit was like not hip hop at all. That was like Broadway hip hop, and it was so cheesy. But it had some, but I did totally like steal some fashion sense from that movie real hard.
I love in Beat Street when he's when he's in his room making the beat.
Yeah.
I always say this shit, like even when I'm like making beats myself. He's like recording the microphone and he goes, "It's working, it's working."
Yeah.
Like one of my favorite lines.
Well, I remember all that, like that stuff kind of all happened like in this. I feel like it was all like the same year, right? Like and also at that same time, I lived in Cupertino, California, and I lived in this little cul-de-sac, and there was like it was all like townhouses, and a couple of random houses in the middle of this little cul-de-sac. And one of the dudes in the neighborhood, I can't remember his name, but he was like the cool fucking kid in the neighborhood. He was like 16, and he had a fucking like 57 Chevy that was all like fucking primer white with blacked out rims and like just trash. And the dude wore like, I remember he wore like Jimmy Z's and like a fucking fedora and shit, you know. And I was like, you know, this is like early 80s.
You're old man. You're old man, dog.
And we all used to fucking go over to his house and break, like all the kids from the neighborhood, and we would like break dance in his fucking in his front yard. He had like linoleum like that he had stole from somewhere, so we just unrolled this linoleum on his lawn.
Stole.
And we would fucking like I could do like the fucking worm really good, and I could kind of fucking pop and lock. But I could never like backspin or, you know, there was some kids who could do all that shit in the neighborhood and stuff. And we were like, I remember I have a picture of my outfit from back then. I had like black parachute pants with the zippers, so they were like bondage pants but made out of parachute material. I had some sparkly gold Converse All-Stars. And I had this like Adidas tank top that I used to wear all the time, and I had those they were like new wave glasses. They were like real skinny. You know what I'm talking about?
Damon.
Oh god.
Yeah, man.
So I totally have those pictures. Like I have a picture that lines us up, that up with that outfit. It's a sight to behold. But that was my break-in. Turbo. Turbo was he was a sidekick in break-in. They like danced up the wall or whatever.
Wait, which guy had the broom? Was that Turbo?
That's Turbo.
That's Turbo.
That is Turbo. The other guy with the long little thing on his ear was Ozone.
Yeah.
Ozone, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So that
earring,
was like
the earring.
And what really pisses me off is like I didn't end up seeing Wild Style until like down the road, like way down the road. I'm like, Wild Style is the superior movie to all of that. Like it's Style Wars, and Wild Style. Those are the two. If you're gonna see something about like the early days of hip hop, Style Wars, Wild Style. Everything else is just kind of like some kind of weird like people trying to like
profit.
Appropriate it, you know,
and
appropriate the culture. But it's funny, like even as a little kid, I didn't think about rap and like hip hop as like just a music. I thought about it as like a whole. I couldn't have probably put it into words like that. Like you know. But that's what it was. It was like because I thought about it as like the art, like the dancing, you know, like the rapping. Like the first hip hop tape I had was fucking Africa Bambaataa.
Oh shit! Damn, deep. All the way to the beginning, almost.
Yeah. So,
damn.
Yeah, that was my intro to hip hop.
Nice.
That's dope.
Yeah, you know, and then like Def Jam and you know the shit that everyone else knows, but yeah, when I was a little kid, that was like I don't remember that dude's name, but we used to go over there and break dance, and I remember that was like a mission. It's like when Homeboy wasn't around, we'd like ride our bikes down to fucking Safeway and steal boxes out of their dumpster and then fucking like bring them back to the house. We'd be like rolling down the street like dragging these fucking like folded up boxes on our fucking bicycles or whatever, our little BMX bikes, you know.
Oh man.
Trying to get back to the spot so I could do the worm.
The worm.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Oh, nice. Good times. Yes, but anyways, okay, moving on. So the next question of the evening is ICP a hip hop band?
God.
Are they a hip hop band or are they just trash? Like do you
Just
consider
trash.
Okay.
Wait. Whoa. We're just talking about ICP just in general?
Yeah, well, I was thinking
Yeah.
about it like, like stuff that gets kind of lumped in and like you'll hear people talk about like, like critics or like, people on Fox News when they want to talk shit about like, rap music. They talk shit about like juggalos and and stuff. I'm like, well, I don't really consider that fucking hip hop or part of the culture. Like that's its own.
Yeah.
They may be good businessmen, but they are just silly as hell.
Well, you can be silly and still be hip hop, but I just don't.
They're the wrestlers. The wrestlers, like of I'm not even gonna say music industry, but they're it's just too much gimmick and shitty sound, and I don't know. It's not for me.
Yeah, I couldn't get into it. My ex-girlfriend, her little brother was a fucking juggalo, and like
my ex was all into it.
He had like bottles of Faygo on the mantle and shit of it in his room and stuff. It was like he was really into it.
Gosh!
And I was always like, okay,
that's cool.
That's really cute.
Not only are you into shitty music, but you collect trash and put it on the fireplace mantle.
I was like, why don't you just get some Big Peach, dude? Do they have that in California? Like out here, so out here we have Big Red, right? Like Big Red is.
Yeah.
And then Big Red like is owned by Minute Maid, and then they had like their whole line of different other flavors. So they had Big Peach, and they had Big Pineapple, and they had like a big grape, but the peach was like.
I love grape.
A particularly disgusting form of soda. I don't know. It's like really, really sweet. And
I didn't even.
Yeah, we don't have.
Red.
No, it's What is that flavor?
Well, Big Red it's supposed to be it's supposed to be like strawberry flavored, but they got so far away from it. It's just Big Red. But that's like in Texas, it's a thing, like if you're in San Antonio, there's a thing Big Red and barbacoa. Like that's a thing. Like you get like barbacoa tacos. Like it's like a family tradition. Like on Sundays, you'll go get you'll go get like a couple pounds of barbacoa and a bunch of tortillas and onions and cilantro and salsa, and then you'll get a bunch of Big Red. They even have They have a festival in San Antonio, the Big Red and Barbacoa Festival, where you go and like a bunch of the different taquerias go down there and do barbacoa, and then everyone just you get Big Red and barbacoa. You walk around and get fat. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I remember when we went to the barbecue joint with you, Damon. You got some Big Red.
Yeah, man.
When
you see Big Red in the big glass bottle, you're like, okay, I got to get that.
Oh man, we had no idea what we were doing.
So, okay, real quick before we move on, are we batting 1,000 tonight? Are we all in agreement again? Is ICP not a hip hop band?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I think we all agree that they're not.
God damn, I got to come up with some better questions. Wow. Okay.
Well, no, it's just that we had an episode where it's like high five, guys.
Yeah, right on.
We're all in sync.
I thought for sure someone would be like, no, well, they technically rap, but like, no, they're just trash. Okay. we can move on.
Yeah.
They're trash.
Somebody will. If Twang was here, he would be like, well, technically.
At my work, like at the main like 6th and Congress store, there was some graffiti written on our bathroom, like the bathroom door in the stall in the men's room, and it was up for like a year and a half, 2 years. I swear to God, but it was like, it said, all you motherfuckers that don't like juggalos can come suck our dicks. We be at corner of 8th and I can't remember what street corner, but like they literally listed the street corner they hang out on. Like, come down here, we'll fuck you up. Like it was all like written out in really terrible writing, like handwriting. It was just grammatically incorrect in so many different ways. It's like, oh my god,
those guys mean business, man.
Yeah, it's like, this is what's up. This is why people. This is the proof. And I swear to God, if you ever start feeling low or down about yourself, like in any way, all you have to do is look up any kind of documentary about the Juggalo gathering.
Oh my god!
You just watch these fucking people talk about raising their kids in the Juggalo lifestyle and stuff, and you're just like, oh my god, yeah, like, we just out here to fuck. We out here to fucking party.
I don't think I've ever even actually watched those things interact with each other.
Oh,
check that out.
It's like serious. I highly recommend watching it. It's like watching National Geographic. You know what I mean? Just like, it's like Juggalos in the wild. You know, it's the Juggalo Fest. Danny Brown, he's played it a bunch. Like, I think he played that shit like 3 or 4 times. He said it's always wild because those people are just fucking nuts. Their fans are just weird, and they're all fucking just like out of control high for the whole fucking time the thing is going on.
Well, if we get big like this, there's gonna be a whole bunch of juggalos out to get us.
Oh, see, that's another thing too.
I'm
is like,
so scared.
I'm so ready for that shit. I'm so ready. Please, I wish you would.
No, but that's another thing too. Is like, I would hate it. Like if I've seen a lot of people like in Santa Cruz and like musicians or like rappers and whatnot. They were embraced by like juggalos and that scene, and just like, I would fucking, if that ever were to happen, I would just like stop whatever I'm doing and just like change my name or rebrand or do something different. Like, whoa, what am I doing wrong here?
Yeah.
Well, who's that guy? There's the guy that's like Tech9. Sorry, Tech9.
Oh, yes.
That dude is like, he kind of came up off of their fans, and he's like I think that dude just set records like last year, the most sales by an independent hip hop artist.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck? Like, those people,
dude,
they have buying power. It's like, it's those people that like Eminem's too smart for. Like,
dude, he like had that one track that was like, "This is the town where the clowns put it down, baby." Remember that? Oh my god! What?
No, I don't remember that.
Oh well, dude, me and Chris and a whole bunch of people like listened to his shit, and I was like, now that makes sense, because he came off with their fame, he did by mentioning clowns in his rhymes, and they're probably just all over that shit. It's a trip.
Yeah.
Well, the important thing is that we all are in agreement. Agree. We
all agree.
Yeah.
Yes.
We all
it's
agree.
A pleasure doing business, gentlemen. Pleasure.
It's a business doing pleasure, gentlemen.
Business during.
Yeah. So, okay, there we go. That we knocked that one out. That was an easy one. I like that.
Yeah, it's a nice one. It's easy like that.
Yeah, we're hammering through. Okay, so next question is, what was the worst job you've ever had?
Oh, yes, this is a good one.
Oh, jeez.
Rick?
Well, let's see. The worst job I ever had was working at Safeway, because I was a bagger, and
why was that your worst job?
Oh, well, I mean, just because it was. I don't know about the grocery store you worked at, but they like had us go to this weird ass training for a week. Did you have to do that?
To bag groceries?
They didn't make us take a training class to bag groceries, but.
Well, I mean, like it was like, because we were called courtesy clerks, not baggers. Like we had like but it was like this long ass 1 week like fucking training, and then like they just treated us like shit all the time. It was really weird. It was like they would like be dicks to us, and I talked to some other people who worked at other branches, and it was like the exact same shit. It was like, what kind of operation you running here, boys?
That's
treating poor high school kids with no integrity. You know?
Yeah. Oh, that sucks. I never had to deal with that. I did fucking have to take a drug test to get a job at a grocery store one time, and I failed it.
Oh shit! Oh, really?
It's like one of 2 drug tests I've failed in my lifetime, and Yeah, I had the job. I was hired. I was gonna work in their meat market. I was super stoked. I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna get to fucking like break down. I'm thinking I'm gonna get to break down animals, do all this cool stuff. And they're like, yeah, you take this drug test. So I'm like, word. So I did the Certo method, and like I fucking got myself all prepared and like saved up my piss and then I get there, and they're like interviewing us and having us like wait around, and we're there for like a fucking hour and a half before we end up having to piss. And I had to piss from like the second I walked in the door, and I'm just just dripping with sweat and just in pain, and I fucking had to go and piss. And man, I couldn't. Once you start, you can't stop. You know, I had fucking drank like a gallon of water, so I'm like, I could see, I saw, but I like in that piss, but I couldn't stop. I watched the pee go from clear to dark. And then 5 minutes later, they're like, "Oh, are you guys ready to go?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like, and both, like, it was me and this other dude. We both got hired, and we both failed our drug tests, and neither one of us got to go to work at that place. And that was in Scotts Valley. That was in Santa Cruz. I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, I was like, I can buy weed here. It's legal. Like, what are you talking about? How the fuck are you drug testing me?
The only time that I've ever been drug tested is when my dad saw me giving a ride with Rick.
Really?
I was giving you a ride, and we're on like Capitola Road or something. Yeah. And he was I don't even remember. Like after Miguel got us in the car accident.
Yeah, that fucked everything up. My cousin, aka SMF Twang.
Yeah, he crashed the car, and for some reason,
he crashed. He totaled my car, and Justin got very badly hurt. Let's put it that way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But my dad for some reason hated Rick, and so he
by association.
Basically he hated Miguel and Rick by association, and then he saw me just driving my car with Rick in the passenger seat, and then I got home that
night. The dirty turtle.
I got home that night, and my dad was waiting on the couch with a pee test drug, like a drug tester.
I thought we were like drug addicts or something.
So first, yeah, it was funny because I actually passed that test though.
Did you? But you were smoking all the time.
I don't think I was smoking right then.
You're right. This was during the making of La Morte de Sorrow.
Sorry.
Well, sorry. Justin, what was your worst job? What was your worst job ever?
I say the job I had in El Paso was probably the worst one ever.
The recent one?
The fake, the wannabe Cypress, but not even as bad.
Oh yeah, these guys were horrible. They had like this all-you-can-eat sushi night, and I would get to work, and their sushi rice wouldn't be seasoned. It was it was like straight out of the cooker, the rice cooker.
Yeah.
So it's all fucking hot, and then they put on some nori, and then throw in some old fish in there, and then you would go into the refrigerator, and the product that they do have was like raw chicken on the top shelf, and then vegetables on the bottom shelf. And, yeah, and this guy was like a total, I don't know, he had another failing business. It was, so I went in there, like my first day, both of the guys, they took off. I was just there by myself, and he called me up. He's like, "Hey, can you take a look at the menu, this menu I wrote? I need to know what kind of ingredients I need to get from the store for this event that's coming up."
For the menu that I came up with.
Yeah. And,
I need you to tell me what I need for the menu that I came up with.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, all right. So I went through and I made out a list, and it was like, okay, cool. And then the next day I worked, it was 2 days later, and the day of the event, and they picked me up, and we're going to. They're like, "Hey, we got to go to Albertsons real quick," and we got to get the ingredients for the event tonight, which is the event in 2 hours. So I was like, I was all stunned. I was like, you guys didn't get this stuff? Like, you're like what?
Isn't that your purpose?
I was like, I was so confused. Like, okay, so we went to the grocery store. That was all bad. They had no idea what they were doing. It was so weird. They sent me a text message that later on. I only was there for like, I don't even know, not even a week. They sent me a text message like, "Oh, we are no longer in need of your services. Like, thank you very much."
It was a cowardly text.
It was bad.
Wow.
The guy was like ducking for so long, and Samantha and I were like, "Okay, let's go to the restaurant and find him." Samantha's driving. We're driving down in El Paso, and we see this car, and I was like, I think that's him. And she's like, is it? I was like, yeah, that's him. This guy's like just blowing down the street, and Samantha speeds up, and we're like chasing this guy like for blocks and blocks, and then we get like lined up with his window, and I look in, and I was like, oh shit, it's not him. Like, we're just chasing this guy down the street, and then afterwards laughing so hard, we're like, what were we gonna do if it was? Like, we're gonna get like a tire iron and go all like fucking Goodfellas and just like beat the shit out of him. Like,
you might have. I don't know.
Hey, it might have made you feel better. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, it would have made me feel better.
Until you went to jail.
It's just so funny. That guy was probably thinking like, what the fuck are they doing? But yeah, so when I was trying to get paid, he was even weird about that, and basically when I finally got my final pay out of him, he was all scared, and I was shouting at him and like walking down the stairs. I walked by his car, and he turned on his car alarm like right when I walked by it. like dude, what am I gonna like? You think I'm gonna smash your car or something? I don't know. It was funny, but awesome. Yeah, that was the worst fucking job ever.
Wow,
sounds terrible.
And I tried to find them recently on Instagram, and I can't. So I'm guessing that business failed.
Well, when you showed me their menu, it was like it was just kind of disgusting.
What was the worst item on
What's
it?
that?
What was
the hot Cheetos on their sushi.
Oh yeah, they put hot Cheetos on their sushi.
Oh,
and they put it in the menu. They set it in the menu.
So the day of that event, the guy's like, "Man, have you ever made a crawfish boil?" I'm like, "No, but I mean, I love those. I said I could probably figure it out." And I didn't think he was talking about doing it then. He was gonna take me to the event in a kitchen that I'd never been in before. So I was just like, we get to the event. He's like, "Hey, I got some crawfish and some sausage and chicken. Like, can you do it? Like,
can you make something up?
Yeah, can you do a boil?" I was like, what? Like, he had like
all the. Can you buy some Old Bay? And
he had all the ingredients for it, but then I was like, I was looking around. I'm like, okay,
he wanted you to execute it.
Yeah, I said there's a popcorn machine. There's a some like old weird electric oven that it was small as fuck, and there was a steam table. So I cleaned out the steam table and made like some crawfish boil in it. And it
how much
so
were they
ridiculous.
paying you, dude? Like, they just wanted you to be like the go-to. Like, I mean, like, was the pay good?
Not enough.
That's what happens. People will be like, "Oh, you know how to do this. So you just make this work."
Yeah.
You know how to do every fucking culinary thing in the world.
I have a dream to own a really nice restaurant. Yeah. Like, do you know how to cook?
I think my worst overall job was I detailed cars for a summer, like right out of high school. Like when I had my first
Me too. Are you serious?
And,
that was my first job.
I detailed cars in Texas in the summer, and that was fucking brutal. It was like my homie's parents' company. You know, it was like totally like we could like we can kind of sneak off and go smoke weed and shit. As long as we're low key about everything, and but I made $25 a car, and I had to degrease the engine, the tire wells, the tires. I had to fucking shampoo the carpets, detail the interior, clean all the glass, buff and wax the whole car. So it took me like 4 hours to get a car done.
Oh my god!
It was like I was getting like maybe 2 cars a day done. You know what I mean? So it was like,
so 50.
Dude,
and it's like, and I'm
50
sitting in a
bucks a day.
fucking carport in a bay. With nothing but a 1 4-foot box fan in the corner, and it's like 110 degrees outside, and I'm just dying, dripping with sweat. Oh, it was so ruthless.
That's
And I did
crazy.
that for a whole summer, and I was just like, I wasn't even covering my rent. I was having to like sell drugs to supplement my fucking lack of income. It was such a fucking joke, but it was like a daytime job, so.
Oh man, that sounds awful.
Yeah, that was pretty ruthless. Yeah. Okay, so let's get to an uplifting question. What was the last truly spectacular meal that you had?
Yeah, I gotta think about that one. Fucking
Yeah.
Justin, go.
Fuck no, I have to think too. Damon, what's yours?
Yeah, what's yours?
On our this trip that we took to Houston a couple weeks ago, we did 5 restaurants and 5 museums in 48 hours.
Damn.
And
Shit.
the second to the last meal that we had was at a place called Fung's, and it was a dim sum house. It was like a Chinese seafood place, but they did dim sum on the weekends. And we show up, and the place looks big, and I see like a lot of Chinese people outside. I'm like, okay, this looks like we're in the right place, And we walk in, and it's like at the corner of the building, all the way on one side. And we walk in, and they're like, we made reservations. They go to seat us at our table, and we're all the way at the other side of the building. Well, the fucking place is no shit the size of a football field. Like the dining room, just the dining room is the size of a football field, and it's nothing but 8-foot circle tables. And we're walking.
Wow.
We have to walk past we're like the third to the last row in the building, like all the way in the back. So we had to walk past it. It's just like nothing but they have like the Lazy Susan, all the it's like all of the tables are 8-foot or 10-foot fucking round tables with a Lazy Susan in the middle. And I'm just like, everyone is just slamming, and we're walking, and it's one of those places where they have they have tanks, and you can like point it, like, I want that fucking crab right there, and they get it for you. And we're walking past, and there's these people fucking rolling a cart with like a Dungeness crab that I swear to God was like the size of a Doberman pinscher. It was just like, it took up the whole fucking cart. Like the body of it was bigger than a football. You know what I mean? It was just like, dude, holy shit. Crazy. I'm just like, before we even sat at our table, I had like a food boner. You know what I mean? I'm just like, holy shit. And we sit down. And like the first guy comes through, and it's like some like little dessert breads, and we grab something just to have something at the table. It was just 3 of us. It's like me and my girl, and then my homegirl. We're sitting, and we're the first people to get seated, so we're waiting for everyone else to get there. And like the next lady shows up with the cart, because it's like a straight dim sum restaurant. So they come by with the carts, and each cart has maybe like anywhere from 2 to 5 different things on it. And it's just like, if you want some, you grab some. You have a ticket on your table. They just mark how many of each thing you get.
Yeah.
So I'm like, the second person comes through, and I'm like, what do you have? And she's like, oh, is this y'all's first time here? And we're like, yeah. She's like, oh, you came to the right place. I was like, no shit, we did. She's like, yeah, we've been here for 40 years. We just brought the best dim sum chef from Hong Kong. He's back here cooking right now. We're like, yes. We got like,
you got my mouth watering now.
So 8 of us ate, and we all ate until we were like bloated, can't fucking move. Like, we were there for about an hour and a half.
Oh, that's the best.
And our tab was like $160.
Oh man!
Before tip, and I was just like, Oh, hell yeah. Dude, it was just like...
But it was worth every penny.
Oh, it was so legit. Like, every meal that we had was just like, okay, that was like everything that I hoped it would be. You know, like when you go somewhere, like I always go, like whenever I go to eat, like especially if it's somewhere that people told me about how good it is, like I go in with really low expectations, and then like you know, like where you're like, there's like it has every place has like a floor to ceiling. You know what I mean? You're like. You look at it like, well, it can't be that bad because these people told you about it. It's got good reviews, you know. But sometimes you could look at the menu or look at their website, and you can just be like, okay, this is kind of cheesy, so it can only be this good. And every place that we went to, like, completely maxed out their ceiling or went above. But yeah, the dim sum was just like, it was just, you know, it was just one of those just spectacular meals. And everything else was really good too, but we had to pay, you know, it was like, everything was, you know, it was like, you know, like, you pay for the good shit, you know?
Right. Like, what you get, dog?
You know, you don't do these kind of trips all the time unless you just got, like, crazy money. I mean, like, if I had crazy money, I guess I would, but, you know, But that dim sum was just like for the amount of money that we spent, like the quality of everything that we had was just so
it was well worth it.
Good, like and they had.
Well,
everything,
I'm jelly, bro. I'm jelly.
Yeah, I can't remember. I would say that definitely a memorable one was when Samantha and I visited you.
Oh yeah.
And we went, and you got us really, really high, and then I managed to drive down to the barbecue place, and we were so confused. Like Samantha and I were just like, right as soon as we got in the line, we felt like we were being judged. Like these people have never been to a barbecue joint. It was just like, what's that? They're on the marijuana.
They're on the marijuana.
And we definitely were on the marijuana.
Yeah. This is Austin. People are used to that, you know. Like,
yeah.
It's like Austin has, or Texas, you know, has probably the best. I'd say we have the best barbecue that you can get in America here, like pound for pound. There's so much. Like,
what about Tennessee, Jamin?
Tennessee legit they got nothing on Texas, like nothing on Texas. No one really does. Like, people out there kind of regional shit, but like everywhere else, it's all this really sweet, like,
yeah,
sugar, like nonsense. I'm not really into that. Carolina, they do the whole hog, and the whole hog, when you do it right, it's good. But
what about Louisiana, bro?
Well, Louisiana doesn't do barbecue like that. They do. It's not.
I guess so.
They do like more charcuterie, like sausages and, you know, hams and stuff like that.
They do Cajun shit.
Yeah. Like Texas, we do brisket, we do ribs, we do sausage, you know. And once you've had brisket done right, it's just like it's one of those perfect things you just can't.
Yeah, dude, oh shit, it's the best.
And the whole thing is, the thing is, like, most people don't have the time or the patience to fuck with it, because to do brisket right, you have to smoke it for a minimum of fucking 12 hours. If it's less than 12 hours, dude, it's not going to be right. Like, most of the good places around here do it like between 15 and 16 hours, and you basically keep it around 200 to 220.
That's what I was going to ask.
And it's just a matter of like, and you know, you have your little spray bottle and you keep them misted. It's like you have to have someone that's there handling that shit, making sure that everything's right, you know.
Right.
And most places don't want to do that. You know, the other thing is, if you do it right, you know, there's only so much you can do. It's not like you can get another round going, you know what I mean? So it's like, you have what you have, and then when you sell out, you sell out. So like all the best places here, it's like, there's probably 5 places in town where people will line up for around an hour and wait.
Yeah.
You know, before they open. Like Franklin is the big name place in town, and they ended up starting their own like little fucking micro economy where they had bums that you could pay to wait in line for you. And then they had they had some people that were down there renting chairs. Like, that's what this guy does for a living. He rents chairs to the people waiting in line at Franklin. And it's like,
that sounds
you know what I mean?
Crazy.
Like it's the place is so famous, and the people are waiting for so long. It started their own like micro economy. It's amazing.
What the fuck, dude?
Yeah, that when That place you took us to, that sausage and the brisket and the ribs, everything, that shit was the fucking best. Like, I haven't had barbecue like that.
Yeah, and that's like, honestly, that's like the C+ place in town, you know? Like, there's some places in town. It was just by the time we got going, it was already like 1:30, you know? All those places open at 11, and they're sold out by 1. So
I gotta get out there. What the fuck?
Yeah, man. There's no places like that here.
Damn, no, not at all. That's the dream.
So what about you, Slick Rick? What's your answer? What was the last meal that you had? It didn't have to be out and about. It could have been cooked by someone.
Well, I'll just start by saying that my life is basically based on the homemade turkey sandwich that my wife makes every day.
Okay.
It's good. It gets me through the day, but recently I went to this place in Watsonville called Ranch Milk Market, and I got a burrito there, a carne asada super burrito, and I asked them to add fucking French fries so I can make it into a California burrito.
Get your San Diego style.
Yeah, fucking La Jolla shit going on. So I straight
have to explain that shit to people all the time. It's funny.
yeah, exactly.
If there's French fries, it's San Diego style.
Dude, but for some reason it's so. Dude, I haven't had one outside of that town that was this good until I went to this place. I asked them to add French fries, but really what did for me, they got this peanut salsa. I don't know if you've ever heard of peanut salsa. But these guys make this peanut salsa that's like, you know, it's got some of the typical ingredients of, you know, like a salsa, like a dark red kind of salsa, but they add peanut and they add this, and it is so fucking hot, dude. I love burning the shit out of myself.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Yeah. Hell yeah.
And then it was like this weird place because it's like a market, and you can also get, you know, like fucking, you can get.
Is it a Mexican meat market?
It's like, no, it's just like a market that has like a brewery in it, you know, like a microbrewery in it, and you can get gas and shit. It's like a gas station too. It's weird, but
that sounds awesome.
I never expected that, and I was like, this salsa is incredible. And I asked him, I was like, dude, is this your guys' like thing here? They're like, yeah, we came up with that fucking peanut salsa shit, and I'm a big fan of peanut anything on anything, as you know. But it was amazing. That was incredible. That was like 4 days ago.
Dude, hey, I'm sorry. That just reminded me of a Would You Rather.
Yeah.
A really good Would You Rather. This one's good.
Here we go.
Would you guys rather have a peanut allergy or a shellfish allergy?
Oh,
fuck you.
Fuck you, Justin. Yeah. You're fucking taking me to a place I don't want to go.
Man, I'll go peanut. I'd rather eat shellfish than peanuts. Like I think I could get around the nuts. I'm like, you know, peanut butter and
most things have peanut in them.
Oh,
a lot of things.
Yeah, I know. Trust me, I know.
Yeah, a lot of what though, like toppings or like processed things.
Yeah,
I had a lady the other day refuse to eat at our store because in the kitchen, the commercial kitchen that we have, 2 rooms over from the sandwich room, this woman has a couple of jars of peanuts. So the woman was like, no, there's a chance for contamination, so she wouldn't eat anything from the store.
Not even a speck of dust.
Like, God damn, all right, well, fucking, if it's that bad, you know, like the fucking hint of a speck of peanut in the air, you're fucking toast.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah, that's fucking
That's
crazy.
rough.
Yeah.
Rick, I think I know what you would choose.
I hope you do, because I'll be offended if you get it wrong.
Did we finally break up the streak? Did we break up the streak? Are you?
Yeah, I think Rick is a peanut guy.
Dude,
you're gonna go peanuts over shellfish, huh?
Is it because of the peanut butter burger? Is that why?
No, just because I know you're.
It's because of my tweet. It's because of my tweet, dog.
No, you're like me. I think I would choose the same.
I love peanut butter, dude.
Y'all both don't. So, bouillabaisse and shrimp and grits and fucking lobster claws and fucking and crab. Oh my God, dude! Some boiled or fried crab. Oh.
I'm gonna tell you right now, man. Like, I wasn't done coming up with my answer. So basically, what this is I love peanut butter so much I could eat it forever, but I don't get craving peanut butter like I do for like crab and crawfish and shrimp, and it's like I get cravings for that shit. Like I'm a pregnant woman and shit. Like I have that. You know, I swear to God, dude, like I gotta go to fucking Kickin' Crab like once a quarter at minimum. Like, just sit down and put a bib on and just tear shit up because I love shellfish so much. But peanut butter, though, I feel like I couldn't live without it either. And my wife loves seafood, and I gotta say seafood. I'm sorry.
No, you guys make a good point. I would have to say seafood as well. As much as I love peanut butter.
Yeah.
So
I mean, because think about it, it's like peanut butter. All three of us mentioned peanut butter, but did any of us mention anything else specifically other than peanut butter?
No. I love going to a Thai place and getting that chicken you dip in the peanut sauce. Chicken satay.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
That's so bomb.
Yeah, it's good. There's so many salted peanuts. Oh, salted peanuts are amazing. I mean, just like, I get it, but
yeah,
fucking scrimps, dude.
Scrimps,
dog. Oh, we go to Red Lobster, motherfucker. Like,
dude, I'm like addicted to crawfish. I think I would just die. Just die.
You would have loved the place that we went to. We went to when we were in Houston. The first place that we went to was this place called Crawfish and Noodles. I think it was called Crawfish and Noodles. Yeah.
That sounds like right up my alley, dog.
Cajun Vietnamese food.
What the fuck? They murdered.
That's the David Chang one, huh?
Yeah, we went to the place that David Chang goes to on Ugly. We didn't know that it was on the show. We went to the place, and then when we were there, they were like, "Oh, we were on this show tonight. Check it out." And we're like, "Oh, that's the show we were gonna watch when we got out of here." And fucking, yeah, it's on fucking real. So they do they take the crawfish and they blanch it in the chicken stock, and then they fucking cool it down, and then they fucking wok fry it with all the fucking Cajun seasonings.
You shit me? They fry them?
They wok fry.
What is wok fry? What is that? Explain.
You don't know what a wok is?
Oh, W-O-K. I was saying like walking down.
No.
Right.
No.
Put it in a big Asian pan.
Yeah. So they fry it with them Cajun spices. Oh goddamn, dude! And then we did this. They take the fucking all the chicken stock that they braise all the crawfish in, and then they use that as a braising liquid, and they made a turkey neck dish. And so we got this dish. Dude. It's like braised turkey necks that's just been braised in like Cajun seasoned crawfish juice. Oh.
Stop right there, dude! You're like making me have to
Oh my
poo.
God.
You're making me have to shit my pants.
We got the blue crab. Oh God, dude! Everything was so good.
Those little blue crabs are cut in half. They're so delicious.
No, they do the same thing. They blanch them in the chicken stock, and then they cool them down, and then they toss them in the sauce. They wok fry them. We got that like this like lemon butter sauce that was just, oh God.
That's the soft shell, right?
No, the little blue crabs. The little hard shell. You get the crackers and stuff, but like they right before they pan fry them, so they blanch them, and then they cool them down, and then they bread them and pan fry them. So they're crisp. There's all this crispy like breading on the outside, and then they toss it in that fucking like the lemon butter sauce. Oh my God!
Wow!
Oh my God! Watch that Ugly Delicious. David Chang's new show on Netflix. He goes there. I think it's episode 4. He goes to Houston and he eats there. He eats at this other place that we almost went to, but it was like we were doing all this Asian food, and we were like, well, we got to mix it up a little bit. So we did a mixture of like Asian food and soul food. Oh, and the last place that we went to on the way out, we ate at this place, Kenny and Ziggy's. Justin, do you remember that documentary Deli Man about the Jewish deli? It's like the history of Jewish delis, and then they interviewed that guy that he's like a 4th generation deli guy, and he opens a proper Jewish deli in Houston.
No, I don't.
Well, we went to that motherfucking deli, and it was the shit.
Nice.
Well, I must say, it just makes me mad that I'm not in Austin.
That's not even here. That's all in Houston. Austin's got a good food scene, but Houston, like. If you're like, I think if you're in the city limits of Houston, I think white people are a minority there. I'm pretty sure like the white people mostly live in the suburbs. So there's like There's really good. They had probably the best Asian food that I've had anywhere in America. There, it's unreal. There's so many Asian people there, and it's like everyone's got their. There's like little pockets in it, and you can get like anything authentic. You can get anything authentic. The best Indian food probably you're gonna get in America. They've got good barbecue out there. That they got.
It's in Texas,
yeah,
not in New York. It's Texas.
Yeah,
and I like that. Makes me happy.
Dude, there's good eating all over Texas. Like if you wanted to come out here and spend like a week, if you wanted to spend 2 weeks, we could drive around and fucking get sick with it.
Let's do our first live all together in one room cast and go eat our asses off.
I'll go with that.
Yeah,
we'll get the GoPros. We'll film it.
My wife would be in heaven.
Oh yeah, she'd love it, dude.
We love to eat and make food. We're such a good team with that shit.
Nice.
Austin's like Asian fusion central, and then you go to Houston, and they have like legit Asian, and then like all around Austin, and like if you go outside of here to Lockhart, there's really good barbecue between here and Lockhart, and then San Antonio has like the best tacos that you'll get probably anywhere in America besides maybe LA.
Oh shit, man. So do you have another question, Damon?
No, I think that was gonna be it. I was gonna say, I think that's that. Let's now that I'm super full, I'm gonna go and eat some cupcakes and go to bed.
Nice. Right on.
Yeah. So once again, guys, this is There a Godzilla podcast? Thank y'all for tuning in. Sorry, hope we didn't ramble on too much for y'all. Yeah, life is good. Having fun out here in Austin, Texas, smoking boys, talking to friends. Life is good.
Life is great. Yeah.
Always.
Well, tune in next week. We'll have some more interesting questions to talk about. Oh, a quick shout out to all my friends that had to work South by Southwest and got their asses handed to them for the last 2 weeks. I hope you guys all made filthy money, and I hope all the people that treated you bad have gone home.
Shout out to the people who invented shout outs.
Yes.
Shout out to Robert Brown, a.k.a. Billy Reeser. Just because you're my homeboy.
Oh. All right, guys. Right on. Signing off.
All right, guys.
Laters.
Bye. Peace.